What's up, people? One Nut Punch here. So I bought Lone Star for about $10 on Steam, and I played this quite a bit since they had a demo before the actual game came out today, January 18th, 2024. The game is about $10, and there's two ships you could play, which is the Shielder and the Spacewalker. They both have their different type of, uniqueness to it. For example, the Spacewalker allows you to change the modules on the ship while in combat. You only get three of the times you could do it, and it allows you to use blue and orange and white on whatever numbers that you're trying to obviously defeat and do damage to the opponent. And what I mean by that essentially is that you're able to take the modules that are on your ship, see if the orange and blue on the top portion of the actual ship, you can move them to the bottom on different numbers that might be greater than they are inside that one row, or maybe you need to go into something weaker, do damage to that ship more. Essentially, you have to break their durability on the bottom portion of the screen. And it's not so much of damage being done to the ship that's when the durability would break, but it really depends on how many times you hit them. For example, if I use 3 guns on the ship, it'll be 4 minus 3, so it'll be 1 left. Then next turn I can hit them with 1, and they'll be paralyzed for a turn after that. The thing I like about Lone Star so much is that it's not necessarily just a card game, but it's also like a math game, trying to take random numbers that are generated on the bottom portion of the screen to do bigger damage or being able to beat those big numbers that are currently coming after you. And right now with the starter ship that I'm fighting isn't too bad, but when you get to the mid or towards the boss ships, that's when it starts becoming tough. Like, for example, the Mist ship, which is basically, it takes your modules and it hides them using like a cloak, and you can't do anything with them because it's completely, unplayable. When combat's over, you get this thing called vacation days, and this is like a radar. You can go to different areas that will give you different events, like you can repair your ship, you can modify your ship, you can get different cards, you can actually get more pluses to that, higher grade of modules to put on your ship, and so on. And after the days are over, you go and actually fight another enemy, and then you do that again after that, and then again after that. The game does have quite a bit of stuff to do. You can go and find different events, and obviously you have your different characters, like I'm playing Dong Dong the Cat, that allows you to repair the ship with this inherent trait. Then you have the humans, you have a couple of other races, and they are mostly going to be the pilot for your ships that you fly. Like I said earlier, there's only 2 ships in the game. There's going to be a total of 3, but that will be later on down the road because it is early access, and they will be putting out more stuff later as development continues on for the game. Before hitting early access, Lone Star had a demo that you were able to play, and it was mostly just using the one ship. I don't think you were able to get to level 10 because the max was level 5, and you would just, couldn't get to level 10 to get the new ship anyway. But it unlocked once I bought the game, and the demo's not so much on the homepage anymore. That being said, though, is the game worth $10? Yes, I would say so. I mean, when I went back to look at the demo, I played it for 10 hours or something, and the only time you would not like a game like this is that if you don't like math or numbers scare you. I mean, it is a space game, and you're taking other modules like Gathering Core, Proportion Core, or even something else and being able to add more numbers onto it, maybe having greater strength, doing some weird chameleon thing to where you take numbers and they match together. The game has a difference in uniqueness, and though there's not a whole lot to it, it's still fun to play, and it's still unique enough for people to try out. Like I said earlier, when it came down to the only ships that you play, which is 2, and with a total of 3, maybe that might change. Maybe they might make a 4th one, or we'll just see how long early access lasts for these guys. Another thing I should point out is that the studio is called Math Tide, and these are pretty much people that are making a game that is basically trying to teach you math. And the way they do that is by having you become a bounty hunter, going out into space, destroying these other ships, and getting, obviously, bounties to go out and have vacation days, get your ship boosted up, and then do it again fighting harder enemies. Plus, there is a cool tug-of-war type of, situation going on to where you see beams of light going at each other. And if you have greater numbers than your opponent, the beams of light will hit the ship, or they'll hit you, and you'll take damage, or they'll take damage. And that's how you basically win the game. The thing I like about the tug-of-war laser battle is that essentially there's different color lasers too that are shooting at you. For example, they'll have red, they'll have a yellow with a little bit of black, they'll have a full-blown black with gray inside of it. When fighting the Mist Shadow, he has lasers that are gray, and sometimes it'll hide your modules on your ship to where you can't use them at all. And if you move, which fuel in the game allows you to go up or down once, whether it be getting a different row and you want to hit them, or they moved and you want to get in their range. It really depends on whatever the use for that specific thing is. And fuel can be maxed out. You can go higher instead of 3. Like, for example, I think I went to 5 when I got some of the events going. And you also have your shield. So the 8 with the shield that has like a little lightning bolt inside of it, that's how much shield you actually have in your ship. The other thing is the star coins. And the star coins are used to go to the marketplace, buy new stuff at the store, or use it for different events that will allow you to upgrade and modify your ship as time progresses. In closing, before the video ends, I still think Lone Star is worth picking up for people to try out for $10, and they do have the 2-hour or 2-week thing on Steam to where if the game is not something you like and you have under 2 hours, you could refund it. I still think this is one hell of a game to try out. I love the demo. I love the main game. It's pretty much just like the demo was, except more stuff to do. You have different trinkets. You have more modules to find. And you have, obviously, the new unlock of the other ships. So, in terms of, $10 too is also really cheap. Especially for a game that has high replayability and some other stuff to do, from finding trinkets and doing achievements to fighting different bosses rather than just the Mist Shadow, which I think the other one's like the Katana ship. Basically, the other boss ship is there too, and you could fight either the Mist Shadow or him. It really depends upon whatever you're getting into the specific run, or whoever's next up on the list, as you see on the top portion of the screen. Once you're done beating a boss, however, you go to the next galaxy, and you'll get a star, and then after that, you'll fight the other characters, and then continue on after that. That being said, I've been One Nut Punch, and this has been another video. I wanted to show off my experience, my first time impressions playing the game from the demo to the main game itself. While the main game is $10, you get more stuff to do, as well as being able to fly 2 ships rather than just the one when playing the demo. But anyway, I've been One Nut Punch. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all later in the next one.